Good morning, students, and welcome to Tuesday. You did something right yesterday because you made it to Tuesday and you're watching this video, so you're already halfway there. Okay? Let's get rolling with the joke of the day. What did the stalk of corn say when it was given a compliment? Aw, shucks. Because that's what it's called when you peel the corn. It's called shucking the corn. Aw, shucks. Aw, talking corn. Tuesdays don't get much better than that. So let's take a look at what you're going to do today. All right, first of all, we want you to have a book that you are reading during the month of May. A lot of you go from book to book, which is awesome. Some of you don't have a book, and so we want you to make sure you have a book today that you can start reading because we're going to be using this throughout the next couple of weeks, okay? We read realistic fiction last month. This month we are going to be reading fantasy. So fantasy basically means that it cannot happen. There are some sort of fantastical elements. Maybe your book takes place in a land far, far away. Maybe there is magic. Maybe there is mythology. Maybe the characters have their own invented language or other things like that. So fantasy is outside of reality, right? Reality is real, and then fantasy is not, okay? If you are having trouble picking out a fantasy book, what I just did is I went to Google and I typed in top fantasy books for middle schoolers, and then the website Goodreads has a lot of amazing lists, and there's a big list of top popular middle school fantasy books. The first ones on there are Percy Jackson and the Olympians, so any of those Greek mythology are awesome. Then you've got the Harry Potter series on there, the Chronicles of Narnia is on there. And there's a whole bunch of other really good fantasy series on there. Redwall, Warriors, many other great ones. And so step number one, find a fantasy book, okay, and read it. As you are reading it, we want you to think about what is fantasy about it versus what is reality. And how does that alternate reality kind of help move the story along. Don't forget to put it into reading rewards. So go to reading rewards, add it in there, put anything that you have read. And so step one is finding that fantasy book and doing some reading. All right, then, step two, you are going to go to your writing journal for week 5. And if you didn't complete Mondays, complete Mondays. And then we're going to look today, literary terms in literature. So our focus this week is on literary terms that we're going to see in stories, in movies, and we're going to work through there. So today we're starting with the first two, theme and symbolism. Okay, these you are going to be talking about for the rest of your academic career. In fact, life, right? There's theme and symbolism everywhere. So let's start first of all with theme. When we look at theme is often not directly stated. The author often doesn't tell you the theme of this story is this, but it's what the author wants you to learn or to know. It's kind of like the central or the underlying message. It's a broad idea usually about life. And this is something that you need to kind of figure out on your own. So you want to ask yourself, what is the author trying to teach me? Or what am I supposed to take away from this? Not literally what happened, that's the plot, but instead the theme. What is going on kind of beneath the surface? I really like this image here of an iceberg, okay? Where you've got the plot up at the top, which is what the story is about. We know what's happening, we follow that. And then the overall story, right, evolving, and the theme is kind of below the water. That it's up to the reader to think about, well, what is this saying? Or what does this mean? What am I supposed to learn from this? It could be something along the lines of, love is blind, or finding yourself, or moving on, or something about having courage in the face of adversity. So any of these things can be kind of the theme that moves you forward. Okay? In the writing journal, I give the example of the movie Lion King. And in Lion King, you could say that the theme is finding yourself or finding your path in life, because Simba was confused and he didn't know who he was anymore. He had to discover his place in life and where he had to fit into that. And when he did that, things kind of came back together and worked out. So what I want you to do is think about the book you are reading, or a movie you have seen recently, a book that you have finished reading in the past, and write a little bit about what you think that theme is and how you know that is there. The second term that we're applying to literature today is symbolism. Symbolism often goes hand in hand with theme. So when you think about symbolism, first of all, we've got that root symbols. And there are symbols in everyday life, right? You have the recycling symbol, the stop sign symbol, some that we know when we see them that makes us think of something else. In literature, symbols are going to be things, characters, people, that are in the story that represent something else and kind of add a deeper meaning to it. So for example, the definition here states that a symbol is anything that hints at something else. Not just the literal meaning, but what could be the meaning behind it. Just like the theme is not often stated directly, the author doesn't say, the theme of this story is growing up, right? You have to think about it, you have to analyze it, and so the symbol is the same thing, okay? I really like this definition here where it says that symbolism is when the author uses an object or a reference to add deeper meaning to the story. So when there is something in the story, a character, a thing, a place, that whenever they go there, they use that, it makes you think something else, right? It can really work hand in hand with the theme, with the idea, with the character. Going back to that example of the Lion King, Pride Rock, so where the group of lions were hanging out, right? When it was ruled by a just leader, when things were going well, it was blossoming, it was flourishing, there was lots of life, it was great. But when it was taken over by an evil person, when Scar took over, then it kind of went downhill. And so you could look at Pride Rock as a symbol. When things are right in the world, everything is going well, but when they are wrong in the world, then it starts to go down a little bit. And so as you are reading your book, as you are watching movies, I want you to think about what the author or the director is putting in there and what that could stand for or represent. What is something it could symbolize in there? And so as you are writing today, think about theme. What are you supposed to learn? What's the message in the story? And then symbolism. What is something that the author puts in there that makes you think of something else? Okay? And so theme and symbolism can be rather difficult, so don't stress out if these are hard. These are asking you to really think critically and creatively, to go between the lines, to try to determine something that isn't right there literally, but you are making meaning by thinking deeply about it. So this starts to amp up our level of understanding a little bit. So theme and symbolism, and write about those in your writing journal for Tuesday of week 5. All right, students, so going back to that Lion King reference, I'm supposed to be Scar here. Looks like pretty good face paint going on here. So as you are working, okay, think about that theme and symbolism and apply those to any books that you read, any movies that you watch, kind of go deeper with that. If it's a little confusing, that's okay. We'll keep working on it. We'll keep going from there. So read your fantasy book, write about theme and symbolism. Have a fantastic week. Know that I'm available on WebEx if you have any questions or concerns. And we'll keep rolling into the nice weather that should be coming this week. Have a great day.